The T app crashed and burned already. We didn't make it a week. We talked about them last week. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. It's going to get better. I ain't going to lie. I made my sister sign up so she could do some research for me. Crashed and burned. Yeah. Apparently, so I knew they wanted verification. The way of you doing your verification was you took a picture of your face, which is hilarious, by the way. Only because some chicks have stronger faces. Let me be nice, right? And like... what they
look like their daddy.
Yeah, so it's like, so what if I'm assuming maybe you are trans or you something else, you identify as a woman. Let's say you just identify as a woman. So I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, Mike, come on, man, you messing this up. So let me tell y'all something.
You got a solid point, man. Go ahead.
Mike loves when I try to teeter the line of not getting canceled because he know I'm willing to do it. But Mike is like, yo, I'm not running with you through that cave. But yeah, some of them got stronger faces, right?
Oh, what if, so if you look like your daddy, or what if you don't really look like a woman, but you identify as a woman?
Which is why I think some of them girls are putting a license on there. Them bitches said verification denied.
You got to see your license. Oh my God.
So it got hacked.
Nobody's more transphobic than women, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody is more.
Yo, don't believe me? To ask a dude to talk to his girl and say, is this a real woman? Especially if that woman has had a baby. Yeah. They are the most transphobic people in the world. Mothers, oh my gosh. I don't care what y'all say. Them women are so transphobic. It's crazy out here in the streets.
That's why they be trying to put it on us, man, because they be trying to move the stitch away from them. But anyway, keep going, man.
Ask a mom what's a real woman. They gonna cuss you out.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so it got hacked, things, and Mike sent us, he was like, yo, people's license. Yeah. It always happens. Put people's license on there. What's your feelings on this?
Here's the thing. I think the idea of the T app was a terrible idea from the jump, right? Because if basically you're just saying, okay, the idea of the T app is like, hey, we want to keep women away from abusers, right? So physical abusers, and I'm assuming sexual abusers. I would not assume that we're doing it from verbal abusers, but I can't tell you how you should feel or not feel abused. So I think in that case, 100% okay, right? But the problem was that what they were uploading was basically anybody that they were upset with, right? You know, the same thing as the "Are we dating the same guy?" group, right? Same thing. So, you know, hey, I went out with this guy. Do y'all know this man, right? I went out with this guy, you know, he's a little flamboyant. You know, does anybody know if what's his sexual orientation? And that isn't safety. That's gossip, right?
Yes.
And that's why it was called the T app. It wasn't called the Protect All Women app.
Nah, they don't like that.
Yeah, it was called the T app, which means that, hey, come over here and gossip.
Yes.
So you went over there to gossip.
Yes.
And y'all did what I tell y'all I don't do on this pod. We teetered one time and I left them mugs alone. Do not mess with 4chan internet. They are the most toxic part of the internet, because the 4chan guys, they're not the blue collar guys that are at work all day. No. They're the guys that are coding. Mm-hmm. that are in the office, that is weird as hell, that you low key don't know exists, right? That will go into and hack anything. And what's even funnier is when somebody had posted the founder of the app, his bio, and the dude has been in coding camp. To be fair, he is at Cal Berkeley, which is a selling point for Cal Berkeley, that in 6 months you can create the top app in the App Store.
Yeah. Yeah.
But obviously he did not know enough to not put stuff in public buckets. So overall, I think the T app is toxic, right? If a woman tells me she has it, I wouldn't date her. I mean, to be honest, online dating is to the point now where it's just so toxic. I mean, we said this like 2-3 years ago, like, yo, stop trying to date online. Like,
yeah, I feel bad for y'all.
Yeah, so that in itself is just toxic. But the whole T app debacle, I mean, y'all can't be doxing dudes on the front end, and then when you get doxed on the back end, claim victimhood. I'm sorry, it just look, the scales balanced out.
Yeah, so when this all came out, the whole selfie ID, that wasn't a big thing to me. What threw me off was the security of the app. Because I went to school for computer software, and I remember my second year in computer software, I used to see like certain guys who were in programming classes with me never come back to school.
Yeah.
Or they'd come back to school dressed differently. And dressed differently because they did an internship somewhere that was like, all right, now I don't dress like y'all peasants. And I remember one dude who got a mean internship with Bank of America. He came back and I was like, yo, how you get into this? And he told me whatever he hacked when he was like 8.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I ain't got no future in this damn program. Like, damn, I just learned how to clean cookies out from watching porn. Like, what are we doing here? But it's one of those like interesting ways of life. So I was just like, yo, for most people don't know, I was working on a photography app a couple months ago. And part of that was they spent so much on the security of this photography app.
Yeah.
Like months and months, and you going through stuff on Amazon and, all this, like, first of all, nothing in this, once you be around computers long enough, you realize nothing's safe on the internet. Like if it's on the internet, nothing is secure, right? And then there's no such thing as net neutrality. People own the internet. People owns everything. So it's crazy. But I was just so shocked at that. Now, the recon I got before all this hit the fan was the app was one of the worst apps ever. And the girls was telling me this. My sister told me. She was like, yo, my sister said it's ghetto. Like it's trash below like garbage. She was like, it's one of them things like you hoping a dude that you talk to ain't been reported. Like, cause you don't want to. And I remember, and I told y'all this, I was watching one of the girls on TikTok and she was talking about like how one of the dudes, they were talking about like how good he was in bed, but he don't like to wash. And all the girls, she was like, not only was girls commenting like, yeah, that's true, but women were like, what's his number? Where can I find him? And she was just like, the fact that y'all are dirty and proud to be dirty is disgusting. I didn't like the app. I didn't think it'd go down burning flames this quick.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised I don't think it's still kicked out of the app store. But I think, honestly, I think this needed to happen. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to live in an environment where you're going to get there eventually in this country where social credit is going to be a real thing. Yeah. But you don't want social credit to be established by misandrists or misogynists, right? Yeah. You kind of want it to be established by real, actual people, but you don't want it to be established by angry people. And anytime people go to these, like, are we dating the same guy groups, the T apps, you know what I'm saying? Like, these aren't happy people. No, like, nobody's coming there to report, like, yo, this was a great boyfriend. I lost him. If you find this guy, make sure you do the right by him, right? Nobody's posting that.
It's like Yelp. Nobody goes on Yelp to leave a good review.
No, exactly.
That's funny. Elon Musk about to be worth 400 billion, or he worth over 400 billion?
Yeah, he worth over 400 billion now.
Should people have this be able to have this much wealth?
You know what? It's a catch-22. Because at one point in time, I was one of those type of people. It's like, yo, I don't care that billionaires exist. But this is the thing. No, let me change that. I don't care if billionaires exist. I think that as citizens, we have to make sure that we create governments that can always offset what a billionaire does. Okay. And right now, we don't really have a government that can offset what billionaires do. That is the problem, right? Because if Elon's worth $400 billion and then he dies and then there's a 75% inheritance tax, then that means the next generation has to start over. You need to be impressive as he was. You know what I'm saying? And we don't really have that right now. We have, generational wealth would just keep being passed along and along, and it's compounding. So him being rich per se isn't the problem, but the fact that we don't have a nation state or even, a city state that can offset him. You know what I'm saying? Because what you don't want is these guys being richer than world governments. Yeah. Because then you're going to have that society where the billionaires have the private militaries, the private banks. They're kind of doing what they want to do. And then, at this point, you're just all subjugated to the matrix for real. Absolutely.
Shout out to Mark Zuckerberg. You have your own private militia. You got your own currency.
Yeah, most of these guys do, right? What's this guy on Jeff Bezos? Like he bought the Washington Post for their intelligence, right? Like all those, because as a billionaire, you need to have an intelligence agency. And matter of fact, we was talking about this in a black space, and it was just like, because everybody know that rightly or wrongly, I feel that the black community needs to split. Right.
Okay.
I think we need to. I was like, we need to have the pro nuclear family clan, and then we need to have the your life, your choice clan. Right. You can do it. You do what you want. Right. But on this side, right, there's the pro nuclear family clan. But one of the things that I tell brothers that I was like, because a lot of guys be like, oh, we need to be militaries and militia. Like, no. I was like, we need intelligence, right? We need to create a system where we can collect information as a small group so we know what's happening and what's coming. And I was like, we don't have that. So until we have that, there's really nothing we could do.
Yeah, it sucks that that's what I hope this becomes, the community aspect, right?
Yeah.
Because nothing's worse when you don't have a community.
Facts.
Like, and it's like, hey, when I come to your house, I hate those people like, hey, every time we get together, we talking business. I hate when entrepreneurs say that. It's like, bro, stop being transactional with every damn body. Like, cool. But what I do like is like, hey, we coming in, me and you gonna talk about sports. Thank God it's gonna be a high level conversation.
Exactly.
Me and you gonna talk about family. Thank God it's gonna be a high level conversation. We can debate all day.
Yeah.
Please let it be high level.
Exactly.
I love when people tell me about, I'm some dude asked one of the groups I'm in on Twitter, and it was like, do y'all think podcasting is hard? And 60% said yes. The other 40 said no.
Yeah.
And I said, the 40% clearly don't have a podcast, right? And then one dude was like, hey, this is one of my favorite pod. I hear better sports topics, sports debates in the barbershop. And I said, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Like, barbershop talk is ignorant. I love it.
But that's the problem, right? Is that because the internet threw all of the DF students into the same room with the AB students.
And they expanded their reach further than the AB
students. Yes. Because the AB students have doubt and the idiots have zero doubt.
So they posted everything and they reaching everybody.
As if it's true.
Yeah,
so
I wish, I do wish like we can get to that. And it's like, that's what I hope this becomes. And
I think it will. And again, that's my point of view. But I think that we're at a point now where you could have several schools of thought, right? Like Marcus Garvey existed the same time that W.D. Du Bois existed, the same time Booker T. Washington existed. And like, who else was in that? Patrice overseas, Mandela. So all these men existed at the same time. All of their ideals were different.
And none of the kids that's in
Malcolm X, that's what I was missing.
Hayden and Gray's generation is gonna know who any of those people are.
Exactly, right?
And that's sad.
That is. And it's like, these men all existed at the same time. And they all had different ideologies. But they all knew that they had to support one another, right? Like, I can't speak against W. Du Bois did not like Booker T. Washington, and I didn't like Booker T. Washington, right? When I read a lot of things, I was like, man, I don't really like it. But you know what he was absolutely correct about that we should have did as a community? It took over all the blue collar work. We, you know what I'm saying? Like, we really should have taken over all the plumbing, all the roads. Because imagine if we was laying all the roads when the interstate project would have came down and no one else could have did it.
Yeah.
Right? We would have created generational wealth in this country. And that was 30 years after he died or whatever. So it's like, all these deals exist, and we do need to be able to take what's the good idea, right? Like, hey, Booker T, you right. Since they won't let us into colleges, we should just dominate the blue collar work, right?
Yeah.
So, but because eventually we'll be able to set the prices we want on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because nobody else will be able to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's a real thing. One of the things about China is that they're blowing up with the EVs, right? Electric vehicles.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they do, right? I want one. So here's the thing though, but what they're saying that what China is doing is they basically want to force every other EV company out of business.
Yeah.
By making their shit so cheap.
Yeah.
Because they're like, once they take it over, then they can charge whatever the hell they want.
And Trump ain't finna let that come over here.
which is good, right? And here's the thing, like, even the idea of tariffs per se, it would be good if it was targeted. You can't target a whole country.
Yeah.
But you could target industries when you have the highest consumer base. And I hate agreeing with anything that morons do. Right.
That's your boy.
But one of the things that I got to be able to do is understand when a moron has a good idea, right?
Yeah.
And they're just misapplying it.
Yeah.
And I think in the black community, there is a time for the resurgence of black ideological men, right, that are not named Umar.
Hey, stop calling my man a scammer online because he still ain't got no school, man.
That's your boy.
That is my boy, man.
He's looking a little scammerish.
No, it ain't looking. That shit's so bad, man. I've been on. Go ahead.
But no. I mean, that's a boring topic. We'll lose listeners right now. Let's move on to the next thing.
We got to start having more evergreen conversations on here. That's not based on like pop culture.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why I want to do that It's because it's going to make this pie last longer.
Yeah.
We done. It's going to keep going and reaching new people. But no, I like that.